Good evening, everyone. It's been a few weeks since my last video. But today I'm not going into like a full review of a movie. I'm just gonna give my quick thoughts over the extended cut of Halloween Kills. So I finally got around to seeing the movie after it's been out for like 4 days when they released the extended cut. I'm pretty sure it's the 15th by now. Yeah, but I finally got around seeing the extended cut. Um, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was disappointed. Um, I wasn't as disappointed as when I saw the extended cut of Spider-Man: Far From Home, but it's nearly on par with that. So the extended cut only adds about 3 minutes, 4 minutes of runtime to the film as a whole, and the tagline of it being like more thrills and more kills. That doesn't happen. If there are any extra kills, it's during like that final montage of Michael just massacring everybody, including Tommy Doyle. But even that's only probably one or two kills that are added, and it goes by so quick. Like I don't even know if I don't even know which kills are from the theatrical cut and which kills are from the extended cut. Um, a lot of the added runtime is just the alternate ending where Laurie hears Michael's voice over the phone. She says she's coming for him, and then she walks out of the hospital with the knife. Now, I will admit though, I do like that ending a lot better than the theatrical cut because first of all, I thought that the original ending was just way too abrupt, where Michael just kills Karen and then just looks out the window, and then it cuts to credits. Here, though, it feels like a more natural transition where it shows Laurie leaving, it cuts into slow motion and then freezes on the knife she's holding, and then it cuts to the credits. So I guess from an editing standpoint, I kind of liked that ending a lot more. And the second reason is because it kind of comes full circle with the ending to the Halloween 2018 film, where it ended with focusing on the knife that Allison was holding, and with this new alternate ending of Halloween Kills, it focuses on the knife that Laurie is holding before cutting to the credits. So that ending was pretty cool. Aside from that, there's not a lot of like extra footage. I already went through that. There's not a lot of added kills, and the ones that are like you really can't really tell the difference unless you're paying very close attention. There is a little bit of added footage sprinkled here and there. There is one scene where Marion Chambers is talking about how nobody ever took Michael seriously, um, except for Dr. Loomis, where Dr. Loomis like really knew like what Michael was and what he was capable of. And in my opinion, I did not like that scene because to me that kind of just makes the whole idea of all of these people going after Michael, it just makes it worse because you have Marion going on about how um well, nobody ever took Michael seriously, and well, they're still not taking him seriously in the film. Like in the next scene where Michael kills Marion and the doctor and the nurse, you have Marion wasting all of her shots when she clearly can't see Michael, and when she finally does see him and he's at point blank range, she's already wasted her ammo, and the gun is just out. Then you got that nurse guy, the nurse guy who's dressed up as a doctor, who tries to strangle Michael with a freaking stethoscope, and then you have his wife, the doctor, dressed up as a nurse, um, shooting at Michael with the Desert Eagle and missing every shot. And that coupled with the extra scene where Marion's talking about how no one ever took him seriously, like Yeah, no shit. You guys still didn't take him seriously. Like, so I haven't seen Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, but I do know that at the end of it, there's this, like, militia group or whatever who's, like, armed to the teeth with firearms that just take Michael out. And I started thinking about that scene while watching the extended cut and wondering, like, why isn't there, like, a scene of this? Like, why didn't they have, like, at the very end of the movie with that montage of people just beating the crap out of Michael? Why didn't we just have guys with AR-15s and double-barreled shotguns going after him? I mean, because it's Haddonfield. I'm pretty sure that there was gonna be some like gun-loving gun nut out there who had a bunch of weapons, and we even have that with Lonnie Elam, but instead all he takes is a pistol. Meanwhile, he gives pretty much every other kind of weapon to everybody else. But whatever. So that's one of the that was one of the small extended scenes that I remember. There was another one where Karen is trying to find her husband Ray's corpse in the morgue section of the hospital, and she's confronted by the coroner, I believe. Which that scene was okay. I guess it really just added to just Karen trying grieving for her husband, and then they just made it, and then they just ruined it by the coroner screaming in her face that she can't be in there, and the way it's shot with the close up, just the angle just looks so weird to me, and I don't know if maybe that's just my preference, but it just looked off. So those were two of the only real standout extended scenes that I remembered. There was another one that took place um, right before the whole subplot about the escaped inmate, the Danny DeVito lookalike, where it's still trying where it was still trying to play up like, is it Michael at the hospital or is it just this one rando? And they do shoot this like really good first person segment that shows the camera like ducking behind an ambulance and then going straight towards the hospital through the front door, and making his way towards the emergency room or whatever. And then it cuts to like Tommy, and then it cuts back to the first person segment that we saw in the theatrical version, where he's looking through the glass, and it's revealed that it's this Danny DeVito penguin inmate guy, and he's screaming for help. And that's what really kickstarts the whole subplot about how the angry mob, they chase after the wrong guy and basically get him to commit suicide. And I've already shared my thoughts about that in my full review of the theatrical movie. But those were all the extended scenes that I remember seeing right now. That and the alternate ending. There were a couple scenes of there were a few shots of some of the deaths being extended, or at least if they were shown this way in the theatrical version. I don't remember, like, when Michael kills the doctor guy by sticking his knife through his eye. I think there was a couple seconds added in to actually show his body falling, but I'm not too sure about that. And then the other one I'm not too sure about is when he kills that one gay couple, where he gouges that one guy's eyes out. I can't quite remember if the theatrical version actually showed the eyes popping out of the skull, but in this version, you definitely see it. So I'm not sure if they added in like a second or two just for more blood and gore, but if they did, great. I just wish they actually added a couple more kills that are actually more memorable. But other than that, that was really it for the extended cut. Just a couple extra minutes that that doesn't really amount to anything. It's funny because right when I was done watching the movie, it quickly took me to the gag reel, and then right after that, it showed the deleted scenes. Now the deleted slash extended scenes, they honestly weren't that long either, but there was one scene in particular where it's right before Michael kills that old couple, and the wife is playing with the drone, and it actually gives us some really like cool shots where you actually see through the drone camera, and it's like all grainy and the colors a little bit washed out, but it's really cool to see that. And throughout that scene and the deleted scenes, I'm wondering why weren't these just put in the extended cut? I mean, they still only would have extended the runtime by about say 5 or so minutes, like in total. But I think they should have kept those in. Like the only other one that I remember at the moment is when Allison like technically meets Sheriff Brackett. And that one's only about 30 seconds long. But that one segment where it actually shows like the drone's POV, that was pretty cool. They should have kept that in the extended cut at the very least. But it's a shame that those only made it to the deleted scenes. But basically, the extended cut of Halloween Kills was a pretty big disappointment for me. I was expecting a lot more from it. And I honestly don't think I'm expecting too much, because I don't expect extended cuts of films to be like Zack Snyder's Justice League, where they add basically a full 2 more hours of the movie. I don't even expect it to be like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, where it's 3 hours long instead of 2.5 hours. Like when I see an extended cut of a film, I kind of expect it to be extended by at least 10 or maybe even 15 minutes. But maybe that's just me setting the bar too high. I don't know. But I'm really starting to get tired of the extended cuts only having 2 or 3 minutes of additional footage that don't even amount to anything. Like I said, this isn't. I'm not as annoyed at this with Spider-Man: Far From Home, because like that movie, they re-released that one into theaters, and it definitely was not worth the price of admission just to see an extra scene of. Sorry. So what really pissed me off about the Spider-Man Far From Home extended cut was that they re-released it into theaters to get some extra money, and it definitely wasn't worth the price of admission just to see an extra segment of Peter in the Iron Spider suit, which was already released as like a Marvel one-shot or short, as they call it. And then there was one 30-second clip of just Mysterio, and that was it. So the extended cut of Halloween Kills definitely did not piss me off as much as Far From Home. especially considering that that when you buy the extended cut, you get both that version and the original theatrical cut. So that kind of lessens the blow a little bit, but uh, but the extended cut does not like add much to the overall film, unfortunately. But those were my thoughts on the extended cut. I'd love to hear your guys's, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and I am planning on redoing my video of like the worst movies that I've ever seen. If you guys remember that, I think it was from last year, where I basically took all these like video game clips that I've done myself, and I just put voiceover on it, and the voiceover sucked because I did that all in my car. So I'll be redoing that sometime this year, but Halloween Kills the Extended Cut will definitely be part of that as like a disappointing movie, but still entertaining. So look out for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.